Hey y'all, welcome back to Sin City Review. Today we're checking out a Browning High Power, chambered in 9mm. This gun has a lot of work in it. If you can't tell already just by looking, there's something pretty unique about it. Quite a lot of checkering, to say the least. That said, all done in Cerakote's Graphite Black, and of course has some nice VZ grips on there as well. Lots of aftermarket parts, and we'll just basically start off from the front of the gun and go through them. I did this for a customer. This is going to be his duty weapon apparently, and he wanted to make sure he got some secure grip on it. So, I mean, look at this checkering. There's not a spot on this gun that pretty much doesn't have checkering on it in some fashion or another, or serrations. I mean, it's pretty intense, but it's cool, you know. Definitely shows that with an idea in your head can be translated into something that you know, has real life, like this pistol. So up front, a little 45-degree crown up there, as you can see, on the barrel into the frame, or slide, excuse me. Top of slide serrations, 25 lines per inch, and of course a Novak cut with the fiber optic green front sight. Pretty awesome. Those serrations run all the way into a Heine rear sight. Of course, mounted into the slide, low cut. Serrations, 30 lines per inch of the back of the slide to match up with the Heine sight in the rear. Pretty cool there. As you can see, cuts down the glare, or, you know, with more of a satin finish Cerakote, there's a little more glare, but in the outdoors, you know, the sun will definitely, it'll cut down on that. Of course, we have the cylinder and slide commander hammer in the rear. Cylinder and slide ambi safety. And a Garthwaite trigger. Of course, when the Garthwaite triggers come from the factory, they do not look like this. They're, well, if you look up into the frame right there, you can see where the trigger actually goes into the frame. You can see how it's a little recessed back on this one, and that's for the reason that I reshape it. To get the ones that you see on his site, the really nice ones, you have to actually reshape them yourself. But, you know, a little bit of file work, and it looks nice. It's not so bulky. And that's how this customer wanted it, so that's how I did it. If you follow my channel, you can actually, or if you don't even, just type in the search on my videos, and you'll find another high power, my personal one, that's done in more of a gray color, and I did the same thing with the trigger. Also did a trigger job on this. The internals are cylinder and slide, and you'll see in a moment once I start showing you the trigger how pretty awesome it is. Of course, we have the RDIH slide lock right there. But this thing is just awesome. I love how low that Heine sight sits in there. I mean, it's pretty much flush with the top of the slide. It's so cool that you even have to get the hammer to fit perfectly up in there. Look at that. It's awesome. It's awesome when things come together, you know, to kind of complete someone's vision. Now, lots of checkering. The way he holds his gun, I guess, is like a competition hold. So your grip, you roll up here, and then, you know, all the day with like Glocks and all this extra checkering or extra, I don't know, I guess texturing up here. You want to be able to drive the gun down and hold it, you know, secure in the hand. So his thumb, as you can see here, you want to have some something to grip onto. And so with the high power, it's not plastic. You can't stipple it. So, well, I guess you could metal stipple, but this checkering definitely offers a little more secure purchase on there. And this checkering, as you can see, it kind of converges in a V. You don't normally checker something like a frame like this that is actually tapering down as it goes, because the checkering is going to run onto itself at some point. So it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge. I mean, this might be the first one in the world that has a, you know, the dust cover over here checkered. I've never seen another one anyways. And so it starts off straight on both sides, and then it runs into itself and converges in a V format, which kind of looks cool. Kind of looks like it's rolling into itself. But that was definitely challenging, very challenging. Another thing I've never seen on a pistol is the full trigger guard checkering. I mean, look at those points on that trigger guard right there. It's pretty crazy. He wanted the complete trigger guard checkered. I mean, and it is. That was not easy as well. That was very challenging. But, you know, it's fun to be challenged sometimes. I don't want to be challenged every single day of my life like this, but it's cool to be able to do it and then say, yeah, I've actually done that. And of course, the finishing up of the checkering, as you can see, super nice, very clean lines. It's kind of like the bow tie and the tuxedo. You got to finish it off right. And I think it turned out really awesome. I'm very happy with it. Front strap checkering as well. We've all seen all that stuff. And of course, back strap. Tied off nicely with the lines, of course, top and bottom. Now these VZ grips, VZ is a great brand. I love their grips. I have them on many of my pistols. My high power, the grips that I got from VZ, they went straight on. No problems, or at all. But I had a really old high power. This is one of their newer models, and I'm not sure exactly the tolerances they do with their grips, but there was a lot of air in between. And so I actually had to take down the insides of these grips to get them to fit correctly. There's a big gap. You can fit like 3 pieces of paper through the front of the grip panels in the frame, but I know that's not VZ's fault. That's actually just the way these new high powers are coming out. They're not as, I guess they're not as spec or as high end as the older high powers like I personally have. But nothing bad against the gun. The gun's awesome. I mean, you just had to rework it. That's what we do here. But yeah, VZ grips, they obviously do their tolerances to the original pistols, and I like that. That's cool. These are their slant grips for the high power, by the way. I just love looking at this checkering. I mean, I was kind of against it in the beginning. I was like, oh man, I don't want to do this checkering to all these places that I've never seen checkering done before. Obviously, it's probably not done for a reason. I'm going to run into problems, which I did. But you kind of have to adapt and overcome sometimes, and end result is something definitely unique and cool. It's just really cool to see all the points against the cardboard in the back. That is rad. Pretty cool. What else? I think that's pretty much about it. Got the Garthwaite trigger, got a bunch of cylinder and slide goodies on the inside. We have their ambi safety, got their commander hammer, the Heine rear sight. This is just a Novak cut from Brownells fiber optic front that I got from them. I did bevel the inside of the mag well, so he can, get the magazines in there a little bit easier. It's all nice and beveled. So just, you come in at an angle, like everybody knows, and you can get in there a little bit easier, whatever. What's cool is this pistol came from the factory with these 25 lines per inch serrations on the bottom of the frame, as you can see. And it matches up with the 25 lines per inch on the top of the slide now, which is super cool, I think. It's kind of cool how sometimes you got a little happy mistake or happen chance things just come together like that. Okay, let's talk about the trigger on this thing, because that's one of the selling points on this pistol. So, usually on high powers, you're going to have a lot of take-up, and you're going to have, a lot of over travel with the trigger. But basically, I went in, I reworked all this, and it's just an awesome trigger now. Super light, as you can see, that's your take-up. That is it. As soon as it breaks, and I'll show you the reset real fast. Reset's a little bit longer, but nothing bad. I mean, to have that little bit of take-up, and you can somewhat adjust that out on my video, on my original one. You can see that my trigger job is just a little bit different, but the internals and the slide and the way the sear is engaged by the trigger on this, that little teeter-tottering, I guess, secondary sear, whatever you call it in there, it engages a little bit different than the original high power, so this one couldn't get quite as nice as my original one, but I mean, that is just awesome. Super crisp, super clean. Reset, break again. I mean, it's just, that trigger is just so rad. I can't say enough about it. I like it a lot. I got some magazines I sprayed off with the Cerakote as well. Graphite black, that satin sheen. A little more of a high gloss than satin, but it works. It's got 4 more of these that I did. But yeah, pretty awesome pistol. I mean, when it comes to the custom pistol world, this is definitely custom. I don't know about it being a duty weapon. I think it's cool to add to a collection and have some fun with. But yeah, to each their own. As I say, your mileage may vary. But that thing is just rad. I really love this pistol and the way it turned out. I couldn't be happier with it. I'm definitely a little envious of this customer and what he has. Almost want to keep it for myself. Almost. I'm not really into all the checkering up here, but I do like this fully checkered trigger guard. I mean, I can't get enough of looking at that thing. It's just, look at that. Look at those points. It just looks really cool. Anyways, y'all, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, leave them, and I will answer accordingly. If there's any parts I missed on the gun, just let me know. I'll let you know what they are. I think maybe I didn't talk about or maybe I did, the slide release. This RDIH. Pretty cool. I think it's a Belgium-made part. You get this from Cylinder and Slide, if you're curious. I have these on my 1911s. They're really, really cool. I like them a lot. Just as kind of an extended slide release so you can get to it a little easier. All your battery arms just kind of stays right up inside here. You know, hammer, safety, slide release. Pretty cool. Wow, this thing is it's just beautiful. It's beautiful what you can do with some tools, you know, a softer metal like this and some harder files, and just go at it and create something definitely unique and special. Oh, sorry. I almost forgot to change the lighting source. There we go. So here's more of a natural lighting. More of a, what I call like a true lighting. Doesn't have that blue hue to it. Very sweet. Very, very sweet. Anyways, y'all, until next time.